Jeffrey, we got a problem. We actually have a lot of problems, and there is a lot I'm going to be going over here with you. So I'm going to try to break this up into individual parts so that it may be more easily digestible. First thing in this particular video, let's go ahead and lay out all my cards on the table. I would like to thank you for showing me the way. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but very much due largely to your content and content like it, I have decided on my own accord to convert to Christianity, to get saved, to be born again, to be washed in the holy water, and to give my life over to Christ and to Yeshua, the one God. So thank you for that, for your guidance on that. Now, I went through that phase myself when I was younger. It's not a risky thing to do. It is not particularly edgy. You're not going to get in a whole lot of trouble for it. To be critical of and hate on and crap all over Christians. Now, I have never been an atheist. I mean, there have been, I think there was like 15 minutes back in high school when I was like, am I an atheist? Maybe there's no God. Nah, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. Not for a second. However, I was very critical of Christianity. I even hated Christianity. I used to walk around town with a T-shirt I made that read "Jehovah is a tyrant," for the purpose of upsetting and rustling the feathers of Christians. However, in doing so, I have got to meet a lot of Christians and talk to Christians. Because I believe in, before you can reach a cohesive conclusion, and before you can really draw a conclusion, you have to really evaluate both sides of the argument to see where you stand. Now, I was raised to think for myself, and I am aware, and I understand that a great deal, many atheists, practicing atheists, I don't mean the non-practicing atheists, I mean the atheists who are devout and preach atheism as their religion. And I know they don't call it a religion, but it is, and I will step by step show you how it is. And I think that I think many people will agree. So let's go ahead and start out on what we can agree on. Throughout the history of man, and by man I mean humans, I understand that certain people are triggered and we all have to step on eggshells, and we'll step around eggshells so that we don't, trigger anybody's fragile feelings unless we get lectured about it and get called all sorts of crazy names. There are these very many different schools of thought on the matter of spirituality. Now, not all of them, but a great deal, many of them feel that they got it right. Each one of them feels that we're the ones who got it right, everybody else is mistaken and wrong, and for the better part of human history, there has been a lot of fighting and bloodshed over our spiritual beliefs, because as human beings, we take our spiritual beliefs very, very seriously. And this has led to quite a lot of problems. And so, yes, we are all wise to be wary of that and to be critical and say, well, how are you so sure? And to say that it is not a matter to be fighting about. Nothing to fight about. And that the best way to go ahead and go about pursuing a better future for everyone is to respect one another and to coexist with one another. So I'd like to go ahead and break it down for you exactly how atheism is a religion. Very much like many other religions, atheism the tenements of atheism are: we believe in no God, we believe in no spirit, we believe that when you die, it is lights out. Very much like every other school of thought, every other religious belief system, it, like all the others, says, well, we're the ones who are correct, and you guys are the ones who are mixed up and confused. And people who actively preach this doctrine, this dogma, are practicing a belief system. Okay? Very much like many of these other religions, they say, well, we don't know. Well, we don't believe, we know this to be true. But you don't, it is a belief. It is something that you are taking on faith. Now, I have heard it said, and many people think that it is quite clever a thing to say, this easily disputed talking point, that not collecting stamps is not a hobby, and bald is not hair color. But as there are non-practicing Christians, there are non-practicing atheists who keep their faith and their belief system to themselves. Perhaps bald is not a hair color, but it is a hairstyle. You have mohawks, there's a whole genre of bald. There's straight up bald, there's the balding, there's the monk haircut where it's like shaved up here and there's this little line down here. There's a whole genre under the category of bald. Not collecting stamps. If you make a hobby of collecting stamp accessories, collecting notebooks, collecting little stamp boxes, collecting stamp glues, but make a point to never to include stamps in this collection, you have thereby made not collecting stamps into a hobby. So, bearing the same similarities that practicing atheism has to all these other religions, it can be viewed as a one of many religions, or spiritual belief systems, or what have you. And you can deny the very basic tenements, the very reasonable things that I have just laid out, and do your mental gymnastics all you like. But it is viewed by many as one of many belief systems. And the thing is, it is a belief. It is not fact. These are things that you believe to be true, but you do not know them to be true. Even if you say and think that you know them to be true, you don't. So, to draw this particular video to a close, so we may move on to the next, perhaps what I have said here may have clarified why many people compare atheism to religion, because as it bears these same similar properties. I mean, if I have a set of items that contain these particular properties of X, Y, and Z, and another one shows up that contains these similar properties of X, Y, and Z, I am not in the wrong to say that it is of that set. And that the best route to go about pursuing a stronger future for everyone would be the doctrine of coexisting. You have the right to believe as you believe, I have the right to believe as I believe, and I have the right to make the choices I've made, and you have the right to make the choices you have made. So, see you in the next video.